Hello and welcome to this Perimenopause Cheat Sheet and video tutorial. I am so delighted that you are here taking control of your health in menopause. Now, if you haven't already got yourself a drink, I highly recommend pausing the video, go make yourself a drink, grab a pen, grab your notebook, and then when you come back, let's walk through the cheat sheet together, and I really hope it can help you to get more clarity on what's going on in your body and to give you more knowledge and insight into what your body actually needs now versus maybe how you are eating and moving right now. And hopefully this will provide a really solid bridge to get you started on your journey to better health and to feeling in more control. So go and grab that drink and then we will get started. Okay, so here we are with a very brief introduction. My name's Jasmine and I am a nutrition and lifestyle coach. I have expertise now in menopause nutrition and menopause weight loss, and it's been a long journey. Back in my late 30s, I had never even heard of the perimenopause, and it just snuck up on me and I had no clue what was happening to me. But this isn't about me, this is about you. So you can have a little read, but ultimately, I just want you to know that there is a fundamental difference in how we need to start treating ourselves. There are some mindset shifts as well as some obvious things we can do with our diet and our exercise to really set ourselves up for a long and healthy and happier future. So enjoy your beautiful journey, and I'll let you take your time to read a little bit more about my own story if you are interested. So there are 4 sections to this cheat sheet. So firstly, some perimenopause quick facts, and then I'm going to spend a little bit of time on the get weight wise section, because I know a lot of women get really confused around what's happening here. And then there's a little bit of a wellness section and how everything links together. But ultimately, this guide is designed to get you started and actually to get things done. So the ultimate aim is for you to prioritize your immediate actions and to feel good about them and to actually get started. So let's have a quick look at the very beginning. So there's some information here around perimenopause quick facts. And the big takeaway I want you to have is that the perimenopause can be a very long transition period. Every woman's experience is very different, but I want you to understand that it is often the most intense part of the menopause, and actually there's a lot of change happening and continues to happen. It's not like you just wake up post-menopause and a year after your periods have stopped and you're like, oh, that's it, I feel better now. No, this can be a very long lead up time, and so it's a long time to just be getting by. And that's why I want you, regardless of whether you're here in the later stages, post-menopause, or you think that you might be really in the early stages, there is so much we can do, and that's what this guide is all about. So here you can see there's been some attempts to try and understand what earlier versus later menopause, perimenopause can look like, but of course it's different for everyone. So that is really about stages and symptoms. And I think this is really important. So we, as a generation, as women, have been conditioned to think that if we are a certain weight or a certain just size, then we're probably healthy. And we know that we're all very different. We've got different shape sizes, different metabolism. And so regardless of whether you are, a size 10, you feel slim, or if you've always struggled with your weight, or perhaps your shape is changing, which is really common for women to gain weight around the middle, that this stuff is important, okay? This isn't just about today and tomorrow. This is about your health, reducing those health risks, and really setting yourself up for a happy, healthy midlife and way beyond that. So it really is time to eat optimally for your age and future-proof your health. So have a think around where you think your current stage is, what symptoms you have, and what that means to you. And this, again, I hope you can see this is about having really good kind of intelligence on your own body, so that when you maybe need to go and have conversations with your GP or partners or employers or whatever, that you are much clearer on where you are. Now, obviously, this is just a short guide, and you can, of course, investigate different aspects of perimenopause in more detail, but this is really about just getting a bit more clarity without the overwhelm on where you are and what that means for you. Okay, so I said we're going to spend a little bit longer on the get weight wise section. So this is about understanding what metrics are actually important, which metrics matter the most. Because like I said, as a generation, we've been conditioned to think that it's all about weight, BMI, dress size. So we need to redefine weight. Weight on its own doesn't tell us much about hormonal health, as we are all very different builds, shapes and sizes. Our waist measurement and waist to hip ratios can tell us more about health risks and hormonal harmony. So that's really important to understand. So you could be skinny, but with, a little bit of a tummy. That could actually be more impactful, more influential on your health outcomes and in terms of health risks than somebody that has, weighs heavier, has slightly bigger BMI, but actually doesn't have that central weight gain. So what I've created is a little calculator. You don't have to use it, but it's quite handy. So you just click on that and then it should open up. So to use this, you firstly need to do File and then Make a Copy, because otherwise you won't be able to type in my version. So you make a copy, save it to your own Google Drive. If you haven't got one, it takes like less than a minute to create a Google account. So you would make your own copy, and then of course you can overtype here. So we want to be taking your waist measurement, your hips measurement, and then this one is actually, we'll calculate it for you, but it's actually your waist divided by your hips will give you a ratio, and then you can use this to work out what risk range you are currently in. And you can do the same for understanding your waist measurement from the British Heart Foundation. So if you go there, shows you how to measure your waist, you select your gender, ethnicity, etc. And that again will give you the risk ranges that you are currently in. So definitely go and do that. And this isn't about, worrying or getting in a state about what that means health-wise, but we know that things like type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular health, all of those things, and even a condition called estrogen dominance are potential stepping stones towards ill health. And so these are indicators. It doesn't mean that you are at high risk right now, but they are simply indicators. So that I really want you to be aware of that. So just work through that. And then this one is really, really important to understand. So take a sip of your drink, reset, and then let's talk about mentabolism and why we need to ditch it. Okay. So much of the nutrition advice for women has been, originates from a lot of research done on male metabolism. So basically on men, and in particular the fitness industry, the diet industry uses a lot of men, young males in particular. Okay, so things are beginning to change and there is more awareness, but the curriculum for the majority of these training courses is still not sufficiently differentiated between male and female. And I can 100% attest to that. When I did my training as a nutrition and lifestyle coach, I completed my studies and I was like, still not enough differentiation between men and women, which is why I then continued my education and really focus very much on women's health, because we have a very different body, different requirements, particularly in midlife and particularly during the menopause. So this metabolism basically doesn't work for us, which is why there is so much confusion, why um, there's so many promises, there's so many approaches for women to take, because traditional advice doesn't work for us. It wasn't designed for us. It doesn't often work. Okay, so some of the common messages you might have seen or might be actually trying yourself right now is just eat loads of protein. That on its own is incomplete advice, because as we age and as we go through the menopause, the way our body breaks down fats and wants to hold on to fat changes. So we need to come at things from a female perspective and an aging perspective. Actually, it's not just about being female, it's about everything. It's about our stage of life, it's about being female, and it's about being menopausal. That all of these factors together mean that advice based on male metabolism is not likely to work. Some women are lucky, it does work. But for many, and trust me on this, it doesn't work. So here are some statements that I commonly hear, and these are still based on that kind of male metabolism way of thinking. So perhaps you are really focused on calories, you're thinking that staying low carb will benefit you and steering clear of all fats, including healthy fats. Or you might be thinking, well, I'm just trying not to eat too much, I sometimes skip meals to allow room for more sugary treats, and or perhaps you're conscious that because you drink alcohol you want to limit your food calories. Maybe you don't do any of those things. Maybe you don't count calories. Maybe you eat healthily and have a balanced diet, which is great. But perhaps maybe you're still struggling to understand why this is not helping you to manage your weight better. Or you might be, and this is really, really common, I'd say 4 is probably the most common, is that I eat a good amount of healthy food and high protein, but I'm still struggling with weight. So this is really, really common. And obviously, within the remit of this guide, I can't go into all of the ins and outs, but needless to say that the female body responds very differently to each of these approaches. Okay, so limiting calories puts your body into a state of survival, and we are designed to conserve energy, and that goes for men as well. But if you think about the female body and how we're designed to reproduce and to protect that pregnancy, of course our body goes into survival mode, and that means conservation mode, and really tries to slow down our metabolism. We have additional needs in midlife, that goes for everyone, but we have particular additional needs as we're going through the menopause, because so much is going on. I would say we have an increased requirement for nutrients because our body is trying to recalibrate and operate in a very changing environment. And of course, our busy lifestyle and stress, everything plays a role. So we really do need to be making sure that we are not just focused on calories, and that we're actually focused on nutrients and getting a good amount of nutrient-dense food. And then if you are number 4 and you're doing all these things and you're eating a lot of protein, then you need to understand the aging processes as well as the menopause processes that combine together, that really mean that our body struggles to break down certain sources of protein, particularly high fat, which tends to be more animal-based protein. So you definitely need to be looking at where you're getting your protein from, how much you're eating, when you're eating it, and this is all linked to symptoms as well, including hot flushes. So just become aware, and I think that's the most important thing I want you to take away from this guide, is having an awareness that there's much more going on, having an awareness of where you are, and that is your really, really essential first step. That's how you take control over your body. It's really about awareness and observing what you're doing and what impact that might be having. Okay, so another great way to really become your own diet detective is to actually log down your food diary for 3 days, and you will start to see patterns. You might start to notice gaps, you might start to notice excesses. So really just try to become your own diet detective and do a 3-day food diary. I highly, highly recommend that you try and do that. Once you've done that, or anyway, I highly recommend that if you are motivated enough to do your food diary and to analyze it yourself, I highly, highly recommend that you would be a perfect candidate for my menopause blueprint, which gives you the exact eating guides that I use with clients, that everyone in my membership has access to, and I'm making it available outside the membership. So more on that as we get to the end of the guide, but I just want you to know that if you are that person that has done all this and is really motivated to actually start becoming more aware and tuned in, then you would definitely be a perfect candidate for that. Or vice versa, it would be perfect for you. Okay, so then this section I'm just going to leave you to read, because this is more about wellness, exercise, and all I really need to say here again is the same thing, that exercise needs to be well balanced. And again, we've been conditioned on the very male sort of model of exercise, and our bodies, our menopausal bodies, our midlife bodies need a female approach, and that basically means having a more balanced approach. Now, I love exercise. I love doing all the high intensity stuff, running, weightlifting, etc. But we need to be balancing it with really gentle stuff as well. And it's not where you should start. So again, in the Menopause Blueprint, I share the foundations for health, and you get really, really clear on the difference between different types of exercise and how they impact the body, and what to focus on, where to get started if you're just getting started, or maybe where to pull back if you're already doing like quite a lot of intense stuff. So reflect again on your exercise and movement, and make a note and think about what your priorities are. Sleep and stress are absolutely massive topics again, and it's I love working with women on these and helping them to understand where these things are really putting the brakes on. And again, there is a lot you can do about that. So just for now, become aware, tune in, and tune into your menstrual health as well if you still have a cycle, or if, like me, you're postmenopausal. It's still really worthwhile tracking, because whilst you might not get a regular bleed, you might start to see patterns in emotions, sleep, stress levels, digestive comfort. And whilst you might not be able to wave a magic wand and fix all of it, just having that awareness is really, really beautiful. If you want to go more in depth into that, I've created a cycle tracker based on the traditional Chinese medicine approach, which is really, really lovely. Highly recommend it for young girls and women as well. So that's really about it in terms of helping you to understand a bit more about what's going on. Work through the cheat sheet and just think about, where are you now and what are your immediate first steps going to be. And this is about de-whelming yourself, okay, and just going, right, okay, maybe I need to work on all of these, but let me just focus on 1 or 2 things right now. So I hope that has been really helpful. And like I said, there is an invitation to continue this journey. Now, the Menopause Blueprint, I'm going to show you that in a moment. It's the exact guides that I use with my clients. Like I said, there's 3 components. We have foundations first, so understanding what female health foundations look like. Then you have the how to eat. There's a video lesson that walks you through, just like this one, on every single guide, how to use it, why we need to eat in a certain way, a tracker for how to keep on track, and a nice easy visual to make sure that you're eating all of those lovely nutrients, and how much to eat, how to lay out your plate. It is all in there. And the same for movement. So this is all based on up-to-date research into exercise for longevity, for heart health, and how to really balance out your exercise routine. And remember, this is about being a woman. This isn't about being rigid and I do this, or I identify as a runner, or I do weight training 3 times a week. You don't have to take that approach. You can absolutely look at the lovely menu of different exercise, pick and choose what you want to do. If you're tracking your cycle and you have low points of energy in the month, like yesterday, I felt so tired and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna do some yoga instead. So it's about just breaking the rules for yourself and just allowing yourself to just, be more flexible and understand that a good variety of different type of exercise is really, really what your body needs and will respond well to. At the moment, this crazy bundle is still £9. It's until after International Women's Day, so it is a special offer. I've had it for a long time, but I'm going to be repackaging this up in the future. But at the moment, you can access 2 bonus classes. So there's a workshop on skip to simple eating in menopause. There's a workshop on movement and exercise specifically in menopause, which ties in with this. So this is a crazy offer, and if you've made it to the end of this video and you've worked through your cheat sheet, I know what a difference this stuff can make. So you would simply just click on there and that will take you straight to purchase your menopause blueprint. Thank you so much, and I really hope this has helped you. And please do give me a follow on Facebook, Instagram, check out my website if you would like more help. And here's my crazy family, just to finish off, my 2 kids that have learnt a lot along the way with me, and of course my husband. And I just want to say that this has the opportunity, the potential to be an amazing chapter of your life where you really build better connections with those around you, because it is about you putting your health higher up on the list of priorities, and that inevitably involves bringing those loved ones along with you on that journey. So with that, I'm sending you so much love, and I really hope that you enjoyed this resource, and of course you know where to find me now if you would like more. So I will love you and leave you. Bye bye.